Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So this video is explain briefly about the syllabus of subject Stpm Biology Semester 1. So for those who just finish your SPM and you might have interest to the STPM science stream to get the STPM biology, you may see this video. Then this video will explain the briefing, the syllabus of biology semester 1 that you have learned, you have to learn in STPM. So this semester 1, the theme you have to learn are biological molecule and metabolism. So there are two themes you have to learn. So they are together 6 chapters you have to learn. And the theme biological molecule 3 chapters and metabolism 3 chapters. So about the biological molecule, actually, if you see the chapter name of the chapter, maybe you are familiar with it because all of this chapter you already learned in SPM level from 4, I think. From 4 all you already learned already. But maybe KSSM format got from 4, from 5. But I am sure that in SPM you all are familiar with it. So this semester, I think it is the easiest lah. Can say it is the easiest chapter topic in semester in biology. But although it is easiest, the terms easiest means that it is easy to make you understand. But in examination, it is not easier to score. The easy not means that it is easy in examination, but it is easy to make you understanding the topics. But if you want to score well in examination, you have to take more effort in answering technique. So we are wasting time. So for biological molecule, we have to learn chapter 1, biological molecules, chapter 2, structure of cell and organelles, and chapter 3, membrane structure and transport. These 3 chapters actually are make a reverse for you in SPM only. So almost are same. But in SPM, maybe you are not take more effort in these 3 chapters. But in STPM, you have to take more effort because in STPM, the examination will ask in very detail. Maybe in SPM, not very detailed, just overall only. You also not take more effort and read at all in these 3 topics. Okay, so for the metabolism, there are last 3 chapters, and chapter enzyme, cellular, respiration, and photosynthesis. So these 3 chapters, I think you're also familiar with it, but in STPM, you will learn more in detail part. Okay. So for chapter 1, biological molecule, I think this one, although SPM you had learned, but almost, I think 90% all of you not take more focus on this chapter in this topic. So in this chapter, you have to learn top 5 biological molecule. There are 5 biological molecule you have to learn. Okay. So the first one is water. Okay, water. What is water? And then what are the water? And water formula, I think all of you know water formula is H2O, and then you have to know the structure of water, and then you have to know the importance of water. Why water is very important to us? If you know human, if all of the living organism, not only human, you have to drink at least drink 2 liter water per day. Not only human, every living organism also need water. Why? Why it is very important to us, and also environment. Okay, and also you have to learn about the properties of water, the chemical properties and physical properties of water. It look like chemistry. I can say it look like chemistry, and also chemistry you also will learn water also. Also for the bonding, hydrogen bond. In chemistry, someone you also will learn hydrogen bonding of water. But in bio, you also learn. So same topic also. Okay, you have to learn the structure, importance, and the properties of water. But you have to, I already say in STPA, you have to take more effort in all topic. Although water is very easy topic, but you also have to take effort, not just read the point only. But if the exam call you to explain, you don't know how to explain. Although it's very easy, but you don't know how to explain. Okay, so you have to explain well, know how to explain well. Okay, so second one is carbohydrate. Okay, carbohydrate, you have to learn. There are, if you know SPM, you know that got 3 types of carbohydrate, right? Monosaccharide, disaccharide, and polysaccharide. In SPM also you have to learn these 3 things. But in STPM you will learn more detail. Like monosaccharide, you will learn fructose, and then galactose, ribose, like that lah. And disaccharide, you will learn the 3 main disaccharide: maltose, sucrose, and another one and lactose. Maltose, sucrose, and lactose. You have to learn disaccharide, and also you have to learn about all the structure. In STPA, maybe you not learn the structure, you just learn properties only, SPM. But in STPA, you have to learn the structure of carbohydrate. What are the structure of carbohydrate? And for polysaccharide, you will learn about the starch, and then you also will learn about glycogen, and then another one is cellulose. These 3 main polysaccharide have to learn. Okay, so all of the carbohydrate, you have to learn structure. These are new things you do. You have to learn the structure of polysaccharide. Not only polysaccharide, carbohydrate. These are new things you have to know. Also function. Function also actually you have to know function, what are the function, and then the properties. Okay, this carbohydrate, and then the third one is lipid. Lipid. If you know that one of the example of lipid is triglyceride, right? Triglyceride. Okay, you have to also know triglyceride. What is the triglyceride? And in SCPA, you will learn about one more is called phospholipid. Phospholipid. Familiar with it, right? Actually, it is a component of plasma membrane. Actually, in chapter 3, you also learn. But in this topic, lipid, you just only focus the structure of phospholipid only. In SPA, you never learn that. But what are the structure of phospholipid? Okay, phospholipid, you all know it look like this, right? Like this. But you have to know what are these, and then the detailed structure, you have to know it. Phospholipid, and another thing is, another one is called. Okay, another one is steroid. These new things to steroid. Okay, there are 3 examples. You have to 3 types of lipid. You have to know. First one, triglyceride. Second one, phospholipid. And then third one is steroid. Okay, then about the protein. Okay, protein. If you see protein, you will know amino acid. Okay, amino acid is the basic unit of protein molecule. So you will learn amino acid, and amino acid, you just not learn the base. You have to know the basic formula of amino acid, and then you have to learn the types of amino acid. But the types of amino acid is not the essential amino acid and non-essential amino acid. You have to learn what are the polar amino acid, non-polar amino acid, and then also have acidic amino acid and basic amino acid, and also neutral amino acid. You have to classify it. You have to know what are the properties between these 5 amino acids, and you have to know the differences. What are the difference between polar and non-polar amino acid? You all have to know. And how to determine which type of amino acid is polar, based on the structure of amino acid. But normally in examination, if you ask one to memorize all 20 types of amino acid, I think no. But in some kind of amino acid, maybe you have to memorize. But because in 1 year, past year, if you see structure question, MPM keluar 3 type of amino acid. three type of amino acid, structure of three amino acid, and then you have to name it. So if you ask me, either want to memorize all type of amino acid, I don't know, but got 1 year MPM keluar, so better if you can memorize, it's very good, but you cannot memorize, it never mind. For me lah, but if you can memorize, it's very good to you. Okay, this is the protein, and then this is the basic unit, and then you have to learn the complex unit. It is called protein. So, if you complex unit for protein, you will call it polypeptide, right? Okay, polypeptide, and then you already learn in SPM, protein have four classification, four main structure of protein. Primary structure, secondary structure, tertiary structure, and then another one is quaternary structure. All of these, you have to explain well. What are the properties of primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary, and then also example. What are the example of the protein between these four categories? And then the last one, you will learn about the classification of protein. You have learned about the classification of protein. There are some classification of protein. Okay, then the last one, biological molecule, is nucleic acid. Okay, nucleic acid, you have to learn the basic unit of nucleic acid, that is nucleotide. And then you also will learn the two main types of nucleic acid, DNA and RNA. Okay. And what are the difference between DNA and RNA? You have to know all of it. Okay. Then the last one is analytical technique. This one is totally new to you. Analytical technique is the how do you analyze the component of the biological molecule. Okay, for there are two main technique you have to learn. That the first one is paper chromatography. Okay, and then the second one is gel electrophoresis. Okay, these are the two techniques you have to learn. And then the paper chromatography is one of the experiment in semester 1 you have to do. The paper chromatography is these two technique is about the separation of the component. Okay, later you will know what are but in general it is one of the separation technique in the biological component. Okay, so another thing for protein got another topic is about the denaturation of protein. You have to know also. So there are total 6 topics in this chapter, and in this chapter is very, very easy chapters. But although it is very easy, but you have to take more effort, and then you have to know how to explain well. Just not just understand, what are the primary structure? Yes, you know, but I ask you to explain, or you don't know. You know, and you know how to draw a primary structure. It is a single polynucleotide. In essay question, if the question asks to you explain the primary structure of protein and then give 6 marks, you just answer, or it is made from a single polynucleotide. If you answer like that, can you get 6 marks? Full marks? Cannot, right? So you have to explain well. All of the detail you have to explain well, not just only know the overview only. You don't just only know the hanya muka saja. Awak kena belajar dengan sangat dalam. Okay, so this is all about for chapter 1. Okay, for chapter 2, actually is a very easy topic also. I think in Form 4 earlier chapter you already learned is structure of cell and organelles. If you see organelles, you already know what you have to learn. So the first one is prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. So the first one is you have to know cell theory. What is the cell theory? Why we have to have the cells? This theory who proposed? There are two or three scientists, I already forget. 2 or 3 scientists they propose the cell theory. And you have to know cell theory. Itu easy one. Okay, the second one is comparison between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. What are the differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic, and what are the similarities? Why do you want to differentiate between these two cells? There are differences and there are also similarities you have to know. And eukaryotic cells, I think you all is very familiar with it because animal cell and plant cell are all eukaryotic cells. But in SPM, you have to learn one more prokaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cell, one of the example species is bacteria. Bacteria is under prokaryotic cells. And eukaryotic cell like animal, plant, and fungi all are in eukaryotic cells. And then the third one is microscope. Like in microscope, not like Form 2 microscope. Form 2 in SPM, I think Form 2, Form 3 science you have learned. In SPM, you not learn microscope. In Form 2, Form 3 science, you learn microscope, right? But you just learn light microscope only. And in SPM physics, I think you also learn microscope, but in light topic, right? The reflection, I really forget. But in SPM, you also learn. But in STPM, you just learn. You have to learn light microscope and also electron microscope. Light microscope is the microscope that you have learned. You have used in the science lab. If you have make an experiment for animal cell and plant cell, you will use light microscope. For electron microscope is the device that you cannot, you never use before. Even I also never use because electron microscope is very big device and also it is very expensive device that the school cannot, not have ability to buy it. And also it is very big device and it requires the spatial room. It does not like the light microscope can be bring anywhere. Electron microscope is in the fixed place. You cannot bring it anywhere. Right? So later you will see what is the difference between light and electron microscope. And then if you see the internet, the cell structure of in the internet, there are black white structure. That one is using electron microscope. Why we have to use electron microscope? There are the difference between light and electron lah. For in general, light microscope just can see the big component of the cell. And electron microscope can see very detailed, like ribosome is very small component, small organelles, right, in the cell. In light microscope, you never see it under microscope, under light microscope. But in electron microscope, you will see it, the ribosome, under electron microscope. So you have to know the structure of the light and electron microscope. So this chapter, this topic, actually, normally your school teacher also will get more focus because past year even objective question never come out before. Structure and essay never come out, but I don't know. One times maybe this year come out because it is under syllabus. So I don't know. Maybe this year luckily MPM come out. In essay question. Oh no, essay question electron microscope got come out. Electron microscope got come out. 2 times already. Electron microscope. Okay, but so you have to learn also. It is very boring topic. I think boring, but you also have to know. Okay, the second topic is about cellular components. Cellular components is under the eukaryotic cell that you have already learned in organelles in animal and plant cell, like, or for example, like what? For example, if you learn nucleus, ribosome, RER, vast endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, chloroplast. What else? Golgi apparatus. And then what else? You have to learn before lysosome. And then what else? Mitochondria. Okay, all this, and then special for plant cell, cell wall, and then you also have to learn cytoplasm. All these cell organelles are called organelles, right? So all this you have to learn in SPM also. Even but in SPM you have to learn in detail, not just what are the nucleus? No, nucleus contain genetic material. Habis. I think SPM semua macam ni punya. What are the ribosome or ribosome? Ribosome itu apa? Ribosome or photosynthesis. Habis. What are the structure of ribosome? Don't know. Yeah, and SER, what are the function you just in SPM? Normally you just memorize function only. Structure you totally not read. In this chapter you have to learn structure and then function. These two is very important. Very important. But normally, I think in your SPM, you just read function. Structure, totally not read. Totally you ignore it. But in SPM, you have to focus. Structure and function both, you have to focus it at all. And in detail, not just that nucleus, not only carry genetic information, and also there are many functions also. And then structure also in nucleus, if you know the cell nucleus like that, right? Yeah, the biggest component is nucleus. You have to detail inside the nucleus got what, and then the outside membrane of the nucleus, all you have to know. Now nucleus, semua component ni you have to know all lah. So this is the first topic. Organelles in animal and plant cell. All of these organelles you have to know. Okay, the second one is differential centrifugation. This one is to separate the component, one type of technique to separate the component of the cells. If you know that cells inside within the cell there are many organelles, right? But if you want to take the nucleus only, we just want nucleus. Yang lain saya tak mau. We just want to make a research about the nucleus only. I want nucleus only. I don't want other type of organelle. This type of technique you have to use. How to separate each of the organelles using the differential centrifugation. You have to know lah. Okay. Then the third one is specialized cells. Also, you already learned in SPM. Not SPM, SPM level. For plant and animal. Okay, for plant, one type of is you have to learn epidermis, and then you have to learn about vascular tissue, and another one is you have to learn about the parenchyma cells, collenchyma, and then sclerenchyma. All of these you have to learn. And then also meristematic cell, vascular cambium, all of these you have to know. All of these specialized cells, what are you have to learn? All of the cells you have to know the structure also. Structure and then function. Same as organelles. You want to know structure and then function. And then include organelles, you have to know how to draw. How to draw, because maybe in your examination in STB biology for the essay question, it may be will come out the question, you have to draw it. You have to draw it with the aid of the diagram, describe the structure of mitochondria. You have to draw the mitochondria and label it. And draw in detail, not just draw like this. In mitochondria, just not draw like that. Not draw like that. You have to you can draw like that, but in the detailed component you have to add into it, and then you have to label all of the organelles, part of the organelles. Okay. This is for plant, and then for animal. For animal also there are like animal also you already learn. Animal like the neuron cells, and then connective tissue, muscular tissue, and then muscular tissue, and then epithelium, You just leave these four: neuron tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and epithelial tissue. These four types of cells have to learn. So that is all for chapter 2. So this chapter actually is also very easy chapter, but there are many things you have to memorize. If you see, just only see that organelles, organelle already got how many organelles already, and also the plant cell, animal, specialized cell have to memorize all, and then you have to read in detail, not just read macam muka saja. Why you have to read in very detail. So although it is very easy, but also you have to take more effort and better do notes. Do the maybe mind map or other type of that you have to easier that you can read easy, and then like that. So this chapter not too hard, it is very easy to understand. Okay. Next is chapter 3, membrane structure and transport. Also your family, they are what you really learn in SPM. So same as SPM, fluid mosaic model, structure of plasma membrane. All of these you have to know. The structure of plasma membrane, what have you learned? Structure of plasma membrane, this one. And then what component have? And then got protein. Protein. Okay. And then we have and then we have two types of protein, right? One type of protein is like that, one type of protein is like that. Okay, there are and then and then what structure? And then you have got one structure at here, and then you have like this, and then you have another one is like that. Semua ni lah, you have to know lah. If you ingat lagi, remember, you will know what I doing. If you already forget, better you will learn back. And all of these, you have to learn structure, also structure of each component in plasma membrane, and good phospholipid. Phospholipid actually you already learned chapter 1. In chapter 1, okay, so in chapter 1, and then the protein, phospholipid, protein, and then cholesterol. Okay, and then also the glycolipid and glycoprotein. Okay, this is structure. And then the second one is function. What are the function of phospholipid? What are the function of protein? And what are the function of glycoprotein and glycolipid? All of this you have to know. And then not just all function of plasma membrane, or you just all of the function you just spend ability to pass through the component into and out of the cell. No, right? That is one type of function, but you cannot just write like this, because in Stpm you have to know many functions. Actually, there are many functions in it. Phospholipid actually have many functions. Protein not just only carry, not just for transportation only. There are also many functions for the protein. Glycolipid and glycoprotein, and also cholesterol also have function also in plasma membrane. So also say same as chapter 1, chapter 2, easy but take in detail form. Okay, so this is the first topic. Okay, the second topic. Second topic is movement of substance across membrane. I think if you maybe what is this? Okay, I later you will learn though. Passive transport and active transport. I think this is family lah. Simple diffusion, osmosis, facilitated diffusion, and active transport, sodium potassium pump, semua ni lah. Awak akan belajar balik. Sini saya tak cakap banyak-banyak lah. Okay. Nah, yang ni maybe is new to you. Endocytosis, exocytosis. And these two actually is one type of active transport. But there are the difference between this kind of active transport is this kind of active transport require protein, carrier protein. Yang ini punya, yang indoor punya adalah cell punya. Cell punya, cell take action. So endocytosis is component masuk dalam cell. Endocytosis is release something from the cells. The difference between endo and exo. And then the last one is concept of water potential, sodium potential, and pressure potential. Maybe apa ni? Actually, it is same as hypotonic, isotonic, and hypertonic. Konsep dia sama saja. Tapi just in Stpm they use water potential, sodium potential, and pressure potential to apply this kind of concept only. And there are the value lah. Value of water potential, sodium potential, and pressure potential. You have to know what are the definition. And there are also the calculation question especially for water potential. But actually, the concept is same as hypertonic, hypertonic, and isotonic. The concept is standard. If you already know the definition, you just apply this concept to these three type of condition. Okay, so overall is this chapter. So this chapter also maybe easy, not too hard. Because you already learned in SPM, just also in detail. You have to study in detail. Not just macam muka sahaja. Ini saya repeat banyak kali lah. I already focus detail. You have to read in detail. Okay. Next is metabolism theme, and first one is enzyme. Also familiar with it, enzyme. Okay, so the first one is catalysis and activation of energy. So this kind is one of the definition of enzyme, introduction of enzyme. What are the enzyme and what are the main function of enzyme, and like this. And then you will have the graph, right? If you know the graph like that. The graph like that one. Okay, and then if got enzyme, you will get like this. Ini without enzyme, ini ada enzyme kan? Ini lah activation energy, catalysis reaction, and activation energy. You will learn this. Very easy only. Okay. Then the second one is mechanism action and kinetic. What are the mechanism action of enzyme in our metabolism process? Okay, so the first one, lock and key model. This one I don't want to say. You have already learned in SPM already. Okay. And then the second one is induced fit model. This one is new to you. There are difference between lock and key model, but the process macam sama lah, tapi there are many difference. And then the third one is Mitchell-Manton causes for Mitchell-Manton plot and linear Weaver-Burger plot. This one is graph topic. Graph one. Got one graph. Mitchell-Manton plot is like that one. Like that. And then this one is KM. This one is concentration of enzyme. And then this one is Mitchell-Manton called what? Enzymatic reaction. That of enzymatic reaction. Enzymatic reaction. And then this one, and then for the linear Weaver plot, it will like that. Straight line. It is straight line. Straight line graph. So you have to know what are these graphs represented, and then you also need to know what are the definition for Mitchell-Manton constant Km, and then also linear Weaver plot. So this one is very important. This one is very important. Very important. You have to know the graph file. You have to know the graph file, and then you have to know what are the differences between these two graphs. Okay. And then the final is actually kawan awak. your friends, effect of temperature, pH, concentration of substrate, concentration of enzyme, or rate of reaction of enzyme. There are two effects, right? If the temperature increase, the rate of enzymatic reaction increase. But if the temperature overall is too high, the enzyme will denature. Same as pH, substrate, and concentration, and enzyme concentration. You all have to know. And also, you just not, especially for substrate concentration and enzyme concentration, you have to apply with the Michelson constant Km. You have to apply it. Okay. Then the third topic is about the cofactor. Enzyme also can act as cofactor, and enzyme also can act as inhibitor. How you have to know lah. What are the cofactor and inhibitor means, and then the one mechanism and example. Example you have to know. Okay, then the last one, the fifth one is classification of enzyme. How do we classify enzyme? So there are main 5 classification, 5 class of enzyme you have to know, and then the name. There are specific name for each class. You have to memorize it, and then you have to know the example of the action. If in like in A class, like I think got one class is hydrolase. We have to know what are the class of hydrolase, lase mean, and then the one of the example. And then the first one is enzyme technology. Enzyme technology. How do we apply enzyme in the technology? One of the technology you have to learn is immobilized enzyme. And then one of the example technology you have to learn is biosensor. Okay. So for this chapter, the hardness is increased. This chapter I cannot say easy, but it is moderate hardness. Because there are many new things especially for this. Maxwell mental constant and Maxwell mental plot, linear Berger plot is very important. Normally your teacher will take more of this, and also these two cofactor and inhibitor. Your teacher will take more of at this. Okay. So this chapter moderate. I cannot say easy or hard, but it is moderate. Okay. Chapter 5, begin chapter 5 is the hard chapter and memorizing chapter. Memorizing? Chapter 1, chapter 4, chapter 1 and 2 also memorizing. But although memorizing, but it is easy. Easy to understand, but it is hard to understand. Hard to understand what do you mean. Cellular respiration. Senang je kan? SPM awak belajar apa? Aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration kan? And aerobic respiration, you just learn the equation. I think you have to learn the equation, right? Equation and produce ATP energy. And then anaerobic reaction is fermentation, right? And then also got the equation also. But in Stpm, you are not just learning like that. Later you will see. Okay, so first topic is need of energy in living organism. Yang ni paling famous ATP. ATP is one kind of energy that cells need. Cells need energy. Energy? What energy? ATP. ATP is one kind of component that is rich in energy and can be used by the cells. Okay. And then not only ATP, you also have NADH. And then another one is FADH2. These three components these three components are in rich energy and provide energy to the cells. And in these three components, you have to know the structure. All of the structure you have to know. The structure of ATP, NADH, and FADH2. Although until now also never come out, but you have to know ATP structure, NADH structure, and FADH2 structure. Okay. This is for intro part only. Yang paling penting ini aerobic respiration ini lah. Banyak orang belajar chapter ni, mereka paling sakit lah, ke kepala lah. I don't want to say anything because if you just see the name of this process, glycolysis, Krebs cycle, electron transport chain, maybe you, what is this? You try to Google. You try to Google glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and electron transport chain, and then you awak pergi yang gambar bahagian gambar picture part. You just start the picture, then you will see why your senior and what I say is very complex, difficult to understand already. Or if you already have books, have book on your hands, you can just find this chapter and then see the glycolysis topic. You will know what I say, what I mean. Okay, so for aerobic respiration in SPM, you just learn the equation only. So if you learn about the equation, I think equation I already forget because STPM not the equation, but in equation I think you have glucose tambah oxygen, right? And then ada tambah lagi water. Okay, then you will get the energy 2898 kilojoule energy or 38 ATP, and then plus 38 or 38 ATP. Okay, so but in SPM normally we use ATP lah, not use the kilojoule energy. 38 ATP, right? And then plus carbon dioxide. I think that glucose, oxygen, water, and then will produce one glucose molecule will be oxidized to produce 38 ATP molecule and then carbon dioxide. This is a general equation for aerobic respiration. In SPM, you just learn this. You just learn this kind of equation only. In Stpm, you will learn how glucose is oxidized. Macam mana glucose ini dioxidase? Macam mana? Dan macam mana satu sel satu glucose boleh menghasilkan 38 ATP? How the cells can produce 38 ATP? How? What are the process? So these are the three main process. One glucose need to be completely oxidized to produce 38 ATP, and then you have to take ATP. Okay. So there are three main process, and each process is very complex process. I can say it is very complex process. It is very complex, and normally the first times, even me also, I read this chapter, I am very blur. I can say I am very blur because it is very complex, and also there are many name yang namanya sangat boleh cakap pelik lah. Awak tak pernah nampak punya, tak pernah tengok punya. Saya bagi example. Glycolysis is the first reaction that occur in cytoplasm, and then Krebs cycle in etc will occur in mitochondria. Glycolysis is the first reaction that if your glucose molecule enter to the cell, then the cell will want to produce energy, it will undergo glycolysis first, and then the final product of glycolysis will enter Krebs cycle, and then to produce another energy, and then okay, we continue. So glycolysis product is glucose, not glucose. Glycolysis product will enter Krebs cycle. Then the Krebs cycle it is the cycle. If you see the cycle means cycle lah. Cycle like this lah. Cycle like this lah. Cycle kan, dia akan cycle tak beginner and the end product. It will become a cycle. Okay, and then the electron transport chain is the main part to produce ATP. Because glycolysis and Krebs cycle process will not produce many ATP. Glycolysis just produce 2 ATP, and then Krebs cycle just produce 1 ATP. One glucose molecule just produce like this one only. I give you final answer. Yang 38 ATP kan, yang lain semua dari electron transport chain. Kenapa macam ni? Kerana mereka yang electron support, yang glycolysis dan Krebs cycle, they will produce NADH and FADH2. Mereka akan hasil NADH dan FADH2. But these two product, these two component, although it is rich, but it cannot be used by the cells. There are one example of cofactor. If you learn chapter 4 enzyme, there are one example of cofactor, but they cannot bind. The energy that can be used is ATP. Directly used is ATP. There are no ATP, so they have to change to ATP form. So this is why glycolysis and Krebs cycle cannot not produce too much ATP energy. They just produce glycolysis 2 ATP, Krebs cycle actually only 1 ATP. Yang lain semua adalah NADH and FADH2, and then this NADH and FADH2 mereka akan enter electron transport chain and then produce ATP. Ini secara ceritanya. I repeat. Firstly, maybe is to okay. So I repeat. Firstly, if you already know your equation you learn in SPM is aerobic respiration is glucose tambah oxygen tambah water will produce 38 ATP and then carbon dioxide. This is your general equation. So in Stpm, you have to learn how glucose is oxidized completely to produce 38 ATP in the process. You have to know all this process. So the first process is glycolysis. Glycolysis will occur in cytoplasm. Glucose will enter into the cell. Inside the cytoplasm, it will undergo glycolysis. And glycolysis, it will produce one product called pyruvate. This pyruvate then will enter Krebs cycle. Okay, enter Krebs cycle actually is already end. But what are about electron transport chain? So if you know that, if you in first topic you learn about ATP, NADH, and then FADH2. In cells, only cells can use directly energy form in ATP form because kebanyakan akan guna ATP punya. Mereka tak akan guna NADH and FADH2 as energy. So this NADH and FADH2 mereka akan kena convert become ATP. They have to convert into ATP. So macam mana convert? Inilah. Sorry. Inilah. Ini tempatnya electron transport chain. Mereka akan convert NADH and FADH2 to ATP. Macam mana convert? Awak akan belajar. So totally you have to learn how to produce ATP. So glycolysis you will produce 2 ATP. Krebs cycle only 1 ATP. Yang lain ATP semua akan produce dalam electron transport chain, iaitu 35 ATP. So electron transport chain is very important in the in aerobic respiration in the cells. So if the electron transport chain mati, bukan mati lah, not functioning well, that people will totally die because the cells already cannot produce ATP. If you think that all cells with 3 ATP can make a human survive, can make the cell survive, only 3 ATP cannot buy, need 38 ATP. So the 8 ATP. So 38 ATP out of 38, 35 ATP is produced from the electron transport chain. So if the electron transport chain not functioning well, the cells, that people normally will die immediately. So there are the effect that will affect the function of electron transport chain. So two components that can affect. One component is carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide. Another component is cyanide. These two are the poison component. Cyanide maybe you never heard before. Carbon monoxide, I think you are very famous because previous year got one news, right? Yang ada pelajar universiti ada satu berita kan, ada pelajar universiti I think Kedah punya berita cerita mereka pergi melancong dan mereka berehat di tempat rehat highway kan, dan mereka tidur di kereta dan buka aircon dan mereka sudah mati. Ada 4 orang dan 2 orang mati, I think. 2 orang mati. Kenapa mereka boleh mati? Karena ini carbon monoxide. Because aircon in the car will release carbon monoxide. And this carbon monoxide is very poisonous to us because it will affect the electron transport chain. And it already affect electron transport chain, it cannot produce energy. And if the cell cannot produce energy, do not have efficient energy, the people will die immediately. And then the people will die without any warning lah. Dia mati, tak akan ada sakit, apa-apapun sakit. Dia hanya tidur saja. Dan tidur mati lah. Ini yang sangat bahaya punya. So that is why many people say that you cannot, if you go highway, that will go long journey in the highway, like you will go to from Perlis to Johor, if you want to rehat, kalau tak mau rehat dalam kereta, walaupun nak kereta, jangan buka aircon. Jangan buka aircon ataupun rehat di dalam ruang yang sesuai lah, jangan rehat dalam kereta karena it is very dangerous and you will die without nonsense. Awak pun tak tahu awak akan mati punya. Ini carbon monoxide. And another thing is cyanide. Cyanide also the very dangerous poison component will also affect the electron transport chain. So overall, these are the cerita untuk aerobic respiration. Ini very boleh cakap sangat complex reaction metabolism process lah. So normally your teacher will take many focus lah. Normally will very focus in this chapter because very complex lah. Sangat kompleks. Karena bukan sahaja dia proses sangat kompleks, tapi juga the name of the substrate and then the reactant is very macam pelik lah. Macam pelik saja, awak tak pernah tengok punya. Saya bagi example lah, ada satu komponen called macam Krebs cycle got satu komponen called fumarate. Fumarate. Never. And then got other ketagutave. Inilah example lah. You will learn this lah, all of these component. So you try your best lah. You have to take more of very focus lah in this chapter. And then the third one, anaerobic respiration, not very important because anaerobic respiration, if you learn the equation, it will just produce, it will not require oxygen, right? Anaerobic respiration, it will be glucose saja. I think glucose saja, and then it will produce 2 ATP tanpa carbon dioxide. I think like that. Even water also not required. You will only just produce ATP. What ATP? Because anaerobic respiration just involve glycolysis. It will not involve Krebs cycle in the electron transport chain. Until glycolysis, then the pyruvate product will not enter Krebs cycle because no oxygen molecule. But pyruvate akan pergi tempat lain. Dia akan pergi ke tempat lain. So there are two pathway, right? For human pathway is it will produce lactic acid. Ini for human punya. And then another one for fermentation, like yeast fermentation, it will produce ethanol. Ini pathway dia. Satu untuk human muscle, it will produce lactic acid, and then for yeast, like yeast or fungi, it will produce ethanol. Like that lah. So anaerobic respiration actually is very easy one because it not involve Krebs cycle in electron transport chain. So it is very easy. It just involve glycolysis. So yang paling penting adalah ini lah, aerobic respiration. Karena ketiga proses ini memang sangat susah. Saya cakap dulu lah, sangat susah. Okay, so that's all for this chapter. So this chapter overall is very hard chapter. I can say it is very hard chapter. Okay, so last chapter, photosynthesis. This chapter I think in MPM also, you just learn in one page only, I think. One page only. And also it is one chapter, another small subtopic only in SPM. But in Stpm, you have to learn one chapter. One chapter just only learn photosynthesis. So actually photosynthesis is very complex reaction. Not like SPM punya. In SPM, actually you learn light reaction and light reaction, right? Photosynthesis has divide into light and dark. Same, sama aja. In STPM also you just learn dark, light and dark, but in very detail. Sangat detail. Macam chapter 5 punya, sangat detail. Macam mana detail? Later you, if you see, you will know. Okay, so the first one is autotroph. This one actually is even if you're secondary school, you also learn. What? All of the plant that will undergo photosynthesis is called autotroph. Because autotroph, actually there are chemotroph also. Chemotroph is like human. Human is one kind of chemotroph. Autotroph and chemotroph, you have to know lah what are the differences. And then ini lah paling penting, light independent reaction. In SPM you call light reaction, but in STPM actually the scientific name is called light independent reaction. Okay. In light independent reaction, you have to learn cyclic phosphorylation and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Photophosphorylation wah, apa ni awak pun memang awak sekarang dengar memang apa ni memang normal punya. Biasa punya, he is a normal person. Okay, then the third one is light dependent reaction. It is dark reaction. Okay, light reaction and dark reaction. You have to know the differences. What are the main differences between light reaction and dark reaction? You have to know. And if you know that the light reaction actually is occur at the soma, right? Like you see the chloroplast structure, there are one structure like this one. Like this, and then this one is called telecoid, right? And then you have to know telecoid, right? And then you have to know light reaction occur at the telecoid, inside the telecoid. And then dark reaction, ini light reaction. Right? And then dark reaction occur at this soma. Dark reaction punya. Dark reaction occurred here. There are the differences. And if you see the equation of photosynthesis, saya ingat ke, I think, but not balance maybe is carbon dioxide tambah water, then occur to glucose molecule C6H12O6 tambah oxygen. Inilah photosynthesis yang major equation ini kan. Then I try to balance 6, then also 6, then 6, also 6 also. Okay. This is balance equation of photosynthesis. Ini yang SPM awak belajar punya. And then in SPM awak tahu yang water ni akan digunakan dalam light reaction. Betul kah? And then carbon dioxide ni akan digunakan dalam dark reaction. Water guna untuk light reaction. Carbon dioxide guna oleh dark reaction. And then if they will produce and then for oxygen molecule, it will produce from the light reaction. For glucose molecule, it will produce from dark reaction. In SPM, you already learned. So this one is for dark. This one is for light. And then the glucose product is from dark reaction one. And then the oxygen product is from light reaction. Okay. Ini SPM awak belajar. And then light reaction, why it it's called light reaction because it requires sunlight. Karena dia hendak guna sunlight. Dia kena guna sunlight. So that's why one of the reason why it is called light reaction. Ini awak belajar di SPM punya. Okay. So in Stpm, you not just learn like this. You have to learn how the sunlight enter the thylakoid, not chloroplast. If you in examination, please don't write chloroplast. You have to enter the thylakoid and then the chlorophyll. You have to write in very detailed form, not just the sunlight enter chloroplast. Ini awak tulis macam ni totally salah. You have to enter the thylakoid with it, and in the thylakoid also have many chlorophyll. And this is why there are one cyclic photophosphorylation and non-cyclic photophosphorylation process will occur within the thylakoid. Macam mana dia proses dia? Inilah. Macam mana dia proses? So in cyclic photophosphorylation, you will need light, and then you will need water, and then ini dua komponen sahaja, and then you will produce oxygen. Ini for light reaction. Okay, ini for light reaction. Light reaction. Okay, for dark reaction, what do you need? You will need carbon dioxide, and then carbon dioxide only, and then you will produce glucose molecule. How do this produce? How do they make? So there are another process called light impedance reaction will involve in carbon cycle. Carbon cycle akan menggunakan carbon dioxide dan carbon dioxide untuk menghasilkan glucose molecule. Okay, and not only oxygen. Actually, light reaction it will produce one type of energy called NADPH. Ini tak sama dengan NADH. Ini untuk plant saja. NADPH untuk plant saja. Plant saja. Dia ada P sini. Therefore, dark reaction actually it will require NADPH. pH tambah dengan carbon dioxide akan menghasilkan glucose. So that is why I know if you learn chemistry reaction, NADPH potong-potong, so tak ada lah. So that is why overall equation tak ada NADPH. So this process, that reaction process will involve in carbon cycle. So there are three processes. First process, light reaction. Light reaction have two processes, cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. They occur here. And then the dark reaction will process in carbon cycle, then will produce one glucose molecule. Okay. Ini ceritanya untuk overall photosynthesis. Normal plant will undergo photosynthesis like that. Ini normal punya plant. So we call this plant called C3 punya plant. C3 punya plant. Okay. Later, okay, ini cerita pertama. Photosynthesis overall process. Ini cerita pertama. But another cerita lagi yang lebih dalam lagi. Photosynthesis plant. There are some kind of plant will have the problem. This photorespiration is called problem. One of the problem called photorespiration. Mereka ada problem dekat photo will resulting in photorespiration. Photorespiration is especially for the plant that do not have the plant's anatomy. That is called C3 plant. Mereka ada problem ini. Kebanyakan ada problem ini. Problem ini yang paling cerita saya hendaklah cerita itu adalah oxygen. Mereka inhibit the reaction of carbon cycle. Mereka inhibit one type of enzyme in the carbon cycle. Menyebabkan mereka tidak dapat hasil glucose, and then that reaction is inhibited. No that reaction occur at all. This is why called photorespiration. Respiration means like human. Karena plant ini tak boleh buat photosynthesis. They cannot do photosynthesis. They will do respiration like human. But it is photo because it requires light. Light reaction normal, dia jalan seperti biasa, but in dark reaction dia akan ada problem. Kerana dia ada problem, so resulting in photorespiration. Because the temperature is too high and also the concentration of oxygen is very high until it will cause like this. So to avoid this problem, so some plants that will especially for the plant, some plants will have the structure called crans anatomy in the leaf. Mereka daun structure mereka akan berbeza dengan C3 plant. Akan berbeza punya. So there are the structure called crans anatomy. You have to know what are the different structure between C3 and C4 plant in the leaf. Ada beza punya. And then this C4 plant, macam mana mereka buat metabolism. Sama dia for C4 plant, they the same. They also got light reaction and also got dark reaction. Just the C4 plant, before the dark reaction occur, there are one process due to the structure of the plant, they will prevent the photorespiration. Karena ada structure ni, mereka akan prevent photorespiration so that dark reaction can be proceed to produce glucose molecule. So it is called C4 plant, and another plant is called CAM plant. CAM plant is process dia sama dengan C4, tapi structure dia same as C3. Susah lah. Ada maybe sangat blur atau suka blur. CAM plus actually the structure is same as C3, but the process involved is same as C4. Ada satu conditionnya tapi conditionnya tak sama dengan C4. Proses sama tapi condition tak sama. So in general, C3 plant, but semua plant akan undergo photosynthesis, light reaction and dark reaction. Just C3 plant ada satu problem called occur photorespiration. Okay, ini C3 plant mereka akan occur, especially if the temperature is very high and also the concentration of oxygen is very high. If the temperature is very high, concentration of oxygen is very high, it will occur photorespiration process. Ini yang plant tak maunya. Kalau ada photorespiration, dark reaction tak akan berlaku lah. Dia hanya light reaction ini. So no glucose molecule is produced. Okay, so there are another plant called C4 plant. Okay, C4 plant ni akan C4 plant ni ada structure called crans anatomy. Ini structure called crans anatomy in the leaf. So this structure in the leaf will prevent the photorespiration. No photorespiration occur. So no photorespiration occurs, so the light reaction and dark reaction will occur very smooth. But the metabolism, but there are extra one kind of metabolism in there. So you have to know what are the metabolism and spatial metabolism in C4 plant that different with C3 plant. Light reaction and dark reaction totally same. They are totally same. Just that there are one spatial metabolism, extra spatial metabolism in C4 plant. Okay, there are another plant called CAM plant. Okay, CAM plant no crans anatomy. Leaf structure dia sama dengan C3 saja, tapi dia ada metabolism sama dengan C4 punya. Macam lebih kurang sama. But it do not have crans anatomy. But you do not have crans anatomy, how it can have the same metabolism like C4? Almost same, not totally same, almost same. But also there are some differences, a big differences between them. But what are the differences? You have to know. So there are 3 types of plant metabolism you have to know. But overall, these 3 types of plant will undergo all photosynthesis process. Just there are some special cases that C4 plant and CAM plant can prevent photorespiration and spatial metabolism if they eat. Okay, inilah semua cerita dia. Okay, next, the last one. Ini limiting factor. But I am very scared lah, because this topic normally no one baca punya. Kerana mereka semua baca ini, ayo sakit kepala lah. Belajar ini. Limiting factor is the factor affect the photosynthesis, like temperature, and then for concentration of oxygen and carbon dioxide, and also the light intensity. Ini 3 lah. Tapi saya nak ingatkan kamu, Stpm I think 2022. 2022 semester 1 essay question keluar strategic question ini. Dan kebanyakan semua orang tak boleh jawab. Kerana mereka tak baca. Mereka semua fokus ini saja. Ya betul, mereka fokus ini betul. Tak cakap tak betul. Ini memang kena fokus. Ni light and dark. Tapi mereka tak fokus. And MPM sangat gatai lah. Dia tak sangat gatai lah. Dia keluar topik ni lah. Dia ada keluar topik ini juga. 2022 I think dia ada keluar topik ini juga. Tapi ada beside keluar topik ni, dia ada juga keluar topik ini. And this mark 6 mark I think 6 mark. Sangat tinggi tau, 6 mark. Tak tahu. Mereka tak tahu macam mana jawab. Ini you have to know lah. So in STPM, not just focus hot topic. Ini dua-dua ini dikategorikan sebagai hot topic lah. Yang ni limiting factor sebagai cold topic lah. Yang ni tak ada orang baca punya lah. So tak baca tapi MPM keluar, awal rugi awal yang rugi. So Allah semua kena baca. Semua kena baca. So that's all for this chapter. So this chapter also hard chapter. So take more effort lah. Okay. So that's all for this video. So I hope all of you, if you see until end, you can scan this QR code. This QR code is maybe I need to make some improvement. So you don't need to scare, because this QR code is anonymously. I don't know who are you also, but just you can state any in comment lah, improvement or any praising also okay, or I need improvement, like maybe my voice or my explanation is not very good, or also my slide, or also my sounds. You can anything you can write. So that's all for this video. So thank you for watching.